Hi, my name is Rob Nassari. I'm with ACO Health Solutions. During this video, I plan to demonstrate our GPRO solution that will help your organization successfully complete the 2014 GPRO audit. In today's demo, I will click through the tool's key features while outlining the benefits compared to other options. As I enter our test database, one of the things that you'll see is that it's a username and login that you can easily access from any secured web browser. Usernames are typically your email address, and you'll sign in through a password that we'll provide. This view and this user role that I logged into is for a particular location within the ACO. The organization within our tool shows a corporate location of university ACOs and a sub-ACO called Century ACO. And of course, if you're logged in only for your particular location, Cypress Associates, you'll only see the patients that are associated within your area. I'm going to bring in another view that shows kind of the complexity of where the GPRO audit could go and how in this view, you'll get a sense of how large and how complex and cumbersome it would be for your organization if you had multiple locations. In this view, you still see the University ACO as the corporate location. The individual ACO is Century. But if you click on Providers, you'll see that Aberdeen Cardiology and all the way down to Winthrop Associates shows up as the individual locations. Cypress is right here, and it has basically the same structure as if you go into the regular system. This graph relates to another solution that we have relating to our data management for ACOs, our beneficiary and attribution management, but that's for another webinar. So I'll go back to our original solution, Cypress and Associates. Again, this is the test system that we use, and I'm going to click on the quality metrics area, which shows two areas, the GPRO audit, which was what we're going to enter into now, and then three buckets. If I click on GPRO Audit, you're going to see a dashboard, and this dashboard is important, and it shows up in every view within Cypress or other locations or at the Century ACO view. It shows the dashboard that our project managers, our auditors will be able to reference, any leaders, be able to pull up and understand where the progress is. This first pie chart shows all our different locations within the ACO and where most of the patient sample set is located. You'll see Congressional Medical Alliance listed up here, and it's at almost 30% of the total patient demographics. So from an eyeball, you can obviously focus most of your resources at Congressional and then move on and hopefully finish out the audit by focusing on the other larger groups. Cypress is over here under 10%. In this graph, this shows progress by location, and since it's a test system, we haven't completed a lot of a patient sample set, but if we did, you'll see this slowly inch up with red as being complete. We'll talk about exceptions a little later in the demonstration. These other graphs down below also show the aggregation by complete. This graph would have a small tick showing all the way up to where it's 100% complete, to where you finish out your 3,500 patient set. If I click within pending, the system will load all the data records associated with Cypress. It's important to look over this area, this view, and you'll see all the modules that are associated with the GPRO audit, and they're all divided up. The other thing you'll notice is the number of numbers that are within each column. CMS provides you with prioritized patients lists that your ACO will be responsible to process within each module. If you have the full complement, you'll have over 600 patient samples for each modules. Hopefully they'll have multiple, one patient will have multiple modules to where if you finish one patient, you'll be able to move on and click and finish out the individual modules. In this view, and our system prioritizes which patients should be reviewed first. And by working the list from top down, you get to hopefully ensure that you complete each module's requirements of 75% of the 600 plus patient sample set. So at a certain point, if you continued on and you finished out with Care 1 and you just kept working the list, by the time you reach about 400 patients, Care 1's module will be accepted by CMS. And that's a very important fact to ensure that your team doesn't spend more time than it needs to and can focus on the areas necessary to achieve the results within those eight-week span. If I click on to a patient that's shown here, one of the things you'll see, and you'll see this with every patient that will pull up, is that you'll have a patient ID, the medical record, similar to the view on the front. And these are all test sample data. You'll have an address, city, location, and then the most important aspect is, did you find the record? This might be a challenge for some of the organizations out there, and we envision that if you're an auditor, you'll go on site and you'll look for the record, and if you can't find it, you'll be able to type in reasons, and you'll say a record chart is located at Bethpage. Bethpage, of course, is a golf course, and we set up our system after famous golf courses. But if you click next, what will happen is this will go back into a queue, be located and placed within the Bethpage area, and that location will pick it up. And that's an important element to help organize and make sure that we don't lose the patient records. A dialog box comes up to make sure that you're confident about making this change, because it will take this out of the Cypress Associates view. And you say, okay, and you move forward. And that's important because it comes off the list. Another thing that I failed to point out, and I'll show it to you in the next patient, is that we also have a qualifier. So if maybe the record was found, but you look through the list, and if the person deceased in 2013 or was in hospice or some other qualifier, we will also take this chart off the list, this record off the list, and understand where we stand relating to the other patients within Cypress. But it's important to understand these are the two elements that help you move forward with each of the individual patient sample set. By clicking next, it moves down through the list of the other modules, and the modules are listed below, and you see that this patient, Dorothy, has hypertension and some of the other preventative care modules that are associated with her individual record. Now, these customized workflows allows the auditor to go through and answer the series of questions. Now, the best thing about our tool is that all the questions will be answered consistently because of the fact that there's standard drop-downs. The codes are listed here, so you don't have to research or pull from another report, or maybe potentially you might have an auditor that is not familiar with all the codes that are listed. And I'm going to show you by clicking and adding this, the codes in here. You obviously can remove it, and you can add multiple codes and move through the audit this way. We also have error handling, to where if you click not confirmed, you obviously can't add a code or some other reasons. But I'm going to go ahead and just click through this environment so that you can see the key features and functionality. I'll try to point out some other areas of the system. Every module that you come to has a comment section, and you can always list out any comments that you might want to capture during the process. We'll click next, and we see that the next module is loaded for cancer screening, and that's Preventive 6. And I'm again just going to go and click through this to save on time, and we're going to click no. And by clicking no in this first question, which is, there's 62 questions through the process, it basically highlights or unhighlights all the other questions relating to this module. And it's important because then you don't waste time answering questions that are not applicable. But if you click yes, then you have the ability to select other areas of the system. We'll select no and move on and show you some of the other modules and functionality. Influenza Preventative 7 is shown here, and you click no on here and it unhighlights the other areas. You click yes and you show the question that relates to influenza, and you say yes or no, of course, medical records or medical reasons or other information that's relating to the 62 questions that are associated with the audit process. Then we come up to another preventative 8 measure, and I'm going to click through this just to show you and finish up the video. And then we have the body mass index, and then by clicking through here you have an area. Hopefully you get a feel and a sense of how your team can successfully move through the 3,500 patients and organize them in such a way and find the chart and quickly move through the process and qualify them. The last one I believe that she had was screening for clinical depression. Again, we'll select yes on here, and we'll look at the BMI measure here, and we'll select no, and it unhighlights the other areas, and we select next. And as you can see, when all the screens are compressed at the very top under Dorothy's name, we can select complete, and that record will come off the first view and will show up in our complete bucket in this area. For all the year 2 and year 3 GPRO organizations or ACO organizations supporting the GPRO audit, we also have a view that allows you to understand and see how your performance is being done. In year 1, of course, all you're having to do is report. Year 2, you have to be able to perform with the reports that you show. So this is a standard report that we create for the year 2 and year 3, and it gives you a sense of how well they're progressing within the patients. This is what we did for 2012 ACOs. If you open them up, it will show the names of the physicians that are associated with this, heart failure, what are the how they ranked, how they performed in capturing the right metrics through the process. And again, that gives you a sense of how the system allows for us to track progress and performance relating to the GPRO audit. System, of course, allows you to log out, log back in, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up another area of the slide to ensure that you have some understanding of where we're at. Key features and functionality, again, if we can set up the system and ensure that we load your patient data, we can start your GPRO audit and have you start the process before the January 27th CMS official start date, and that's a key benefit if you're worried about meeting the 8-week deadline. We kind of showed you the optimized user interface. The XML upload we handle for you. You don't have to read the 120-something page manual that CMS provide. Customized workflow, I think you get a sense of how that works and the practices and how they show it. The segmentation of data, which of course the dashboards that also help track the patients and understand the progress that you're making. We have unlimited users. So if you have a large organization or multiple people that are using this, you won't be limited for the 10 user set that CMS QualityNet has. We eliminate redundant data collection. That's something I did not point out for you, is that if you collect a data set early in the module process, in the audit process, it will apply it downstream for other modules that might be applicable to it. The audit process is going to be upon us very shortly. It starts on January 27th. In this, it lasts for 8 weeks, and during this timeline here, anything in blue, we can hopefully start your audit process early. Please contact us at 781-81-MyACO or 781-816-9226. Or you can send us an email at information@acohealthsolutions.com. I wish you the very best, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.